if it's meant to be, it'll flow easily and naturally to you. I was just reminded of this huge, beautiful lesson of life because I planned my wedding in the course of 2 months. I literally planned my entire elopement, rings, wedding, location, dress, suit, all of it within 2 months. And I was able to do that because I let go of control. I was able to realize that if it was meant to be, it was going to flow and be natural. And that allowed me to let go of control. And letting go of control is where all the magic happens. It's where everything can flow to you. So much of life, we try to put into boxes. We try and pre-plan it. We stress over it. We worry about it. We want it to fit what we think it should be. And if it doesn't fit what we think it should be, we get upset. We get angry. We stress over it. When something even better could be on its way to you. But a lot of times we're so fixated on it has to be this way that we lose sight of that. We forget that it's all about sitting back and allowing life to happen naturally. That is the way the universe works. You know, if you change who you are, you get into that state of alignment. Things just flow so easily, so naturally. There's a book that talks all about this called The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. And it's such a great story about how to let go of control, about surrendering to life. And surrendering doesn't mean you stop caring or you stop trying or working towards it. It's not about that. It's about following that intuition of that guidance that you have inside of you that's pulling you a certain direction. And you follow that guidance because you're aligned with it. When you want something, you're being drawn to it for a reason. You know, when you feel like you want to paint something or create something or, you know, be with someone or live in a certain place, you're being drawn to that person, place, job, career, whatever it is, for a reason. It's aligning with your soul's desire, with your soul purpose. And so when you follow that intuition, that guidance, that pull, that draw to what it is you're wanting to create or do or have, everything can come to you naturally because you're in alignment with it. And Michael Singer talks about this in the book when he basically follows his passion for tinkering with computers and programming. He just felt like doing it. He was really interested in it. And he was just having fun and following joy and passion and his love for it. And through that passion, he ended up creating this amazing medical program that made him super wealthy, all because he was just being drawn to it. And through that experience, people approached him. You know, opportunities just came to him. Someone approached to him and was like, you know, we could really use a medical program for this. Could you build us one? And he was like, yeah, I think I could do that. And so when you open the door to letting life in, letting life flow the way it's supposed to, by letting go of control. You know, a lot of times you want to control the outcome so bad that you close opportunities. Control is like building a gate around your home, a fence. And there's only one tiny opening that allows opportunities to come into you. And by letting go of control, you're opening all the gates. Now, all of a sudden, all these opportunities, all these people, situations can come your way. But when you try to control things so much, when you want things to be a certain way, and it has to be that way, and it has to happen a certain way, now you're not in the state of flow. You're not allowing life to happen. You're not allowing the universe to provide, to give you what you're asking for, because you're closing yourself off to it. And this just happened with my wedding. I sat back and I let go of control. I still took action. You know, letting go isn't not doing. I still planned the wedding, but I let it happen and flow the way it was supposed to. The venue that we wanted to get married at was completely booked. And in fact, you have to book it like a whole year in advance. There's like no way to get into this venue. It's so hard. Everyone wants to get married there. But I was like, you know what? If it's meant to be, it'll flow, it'll happen. I was just like letting things happen as they will. I was trying to be the chillest, most calm bride ever. And by being relaxed, by just staying in that state of flow and ease, there was one date available in the whole year for this venue And it worked out perfectly. And then everything else we did for our wedding day happened just like that. I got my dress fitted and altered right on time. I got my ring literally a few days before we got married. And I did my best not to stress about it, which can be so hard, especially planning a wedding. I'm not gonna lie, I had a couple freakouts where I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna get it on time? But then I would remind myself, if it's meant to be, it'll flow to me. It'll be easy. I'm letting go of the reins. I'm gonna let life happen and enjoy it and just be grateful. You know, I'm getting married. This is a fun, joyous moment in my life, and I'm not gonna stress over it. I'm not gonna worry. I'll figure it out. You know, everything's gonna happen perfectly and magically for me. And by being relaxed and in that alignment with what I wanted, I let go of that resistance. I let life come in. I let the gates down, so to speak, so everything could flow to me. And that's why I wanted to make this whole video, is because I was so reminded of what surrendering looks like, and how when you can actually surrender, everything can align magically and perfectly and beautifully for you. But man, is it hard to let go of control. You know, that was the hardest thing for me for so long, because I thought if I controlled the outcome, then I wouldn't be fearful, that I wouldn't have to worry, then things would happen the way I wanted. But in fact, by controlling it, you're creating all of this resistance, you're creating all of this pressure, fear, and worry, and those are blockages. That's not free-flowing, that's not surrendering, that's not living life. You're trying to control life versus just living life. So I want you to repeat the saying after me to help you get into the state of flow. If it's meant for me, it'll flow to me. It'll happen naturally. That is how you manifest. It just aligns. People, situations, outcomes, what you're wanting can just flow to you completely, easily, and perfectly if you can learn to just let go of control, surrender, and allow life to happen the way it's supposed to. Because everything is always working out for you. It's always working out for your benefit. Even if you don't get something on time, or even if you don't get what it is you're wanting, something better is on its way. I truly believe that and know that from experience. So I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.